World leaders reacted with fury against the Iranian regime after the attack on Israel became a global threat and put governments, markets, and peace negotiations on high alert. This Monday, June 8, 2026, Donald Trump told Israel and Iran to stop shooting immediately, while Benjamin Netanyahu warned that Israel will only hold fire if Tehran stops attacking. And dozens of world leaders broke their silence, condemning the terrorist regime of Iran for launching missiles at Israel and still keeping the world gripped by the fear of a bigger crisis in the Middle East. Why did so many leaders react so strongly? How did Trump and these world leaders step in to stop the escalation? And what can they actually do? I'll tell you all about that in a moment. If you like this kind of straightforward and no-nonsense content, consider subscribing because there are videos like this every day. The attack came from Iran against Israel and sparked a wave of international reaction. According to the Israeli ambassador to the United States, Yeshiel, Tehran launched 11 ballistic missiles against Israeli territory towards Israel. This was neither diplomatic noise nor a minor provocation. It was a direct action by the Iranian regime against a nation allied with the United States in the midst of an already tense situation, with attacks involving Hezbollah, Lebanon, military installations, and fragile negotiations. Trump issued a clear order because he knew that Iran was trying to turn the attack into global pressure. The American president said that Israel and Iran were seeking an immediate ceasefire and stated that the final peace negotiations were underway. At the same time, he made it clear that the blockade against Iran would continue until a final agreement. The interpretation is simple. Netanyahu responded in a tone that Tehran understands. The Israeli Prime Minister stated that Israel attacked the terrorist regime in Tehran, said that the fire was contained, and warned that any new Iranian attack would be met with a strong response. Israel is not backing down out of fear. It is holding back its response because Trump put direct pressure to prevent the crisis from turning into open war. The difference is that Netanyahu made it clear that patience has its limits, and that the next strike could cost Iran dearly. And this is Yeshiel later, who emphasized that Israel has started targeting missile launch sites used by Iran. Israel is trying to target the infrastructure that enables new attacks, cutting off the regime's capability before new missiles are launched. The target is the machine that turns political fanaticism into a military threat against Israeli civilians. The European Union has also moved beyond rhetoric and imposed sanctions on Iranians linked to restricting naval traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. Kaja Kallas, the head of European diplomacy, said that Iran's actions are unacceptable. Brussels sanctioned 2 Iranians and a unit of the Revolutionary Guard Navy. That's where the Iranian regime starts to feel the real cost of escalation. When Tehran threatens shipping, it endangers trade, energy, and international security. The response stops being only military and becomes economic. The United Kingdom went on alert because the crisis is already affecting people far from the Middle East. Keir Starmer called for an urgent return to the ceasefire and stated that the conflict has an impact on the entire world, including the United Kingdom. Yvette Cooper also called for immediate de-escalation and said that the resumption of the conflict between Iran and Israel is in no one's interest. The British message shows that the Iranian attack did not stay confined to the region. Spain condemned the collapse of the ceasefire, and José Manuel Álvarez stated that returning to violence will only bring more suffering. Canada took the same stance, with Anita Nandi arguing that the diplomatic route is the path to lasting peace, regional stability, and global security. Even governments that usually choose their words more carefully had to react, because the Iranian attack confronted everyone with an uncomfortable truth. Even governments set limits and then expect the world to ask others to remain calm. Qatar tried to act as a channel for de-escalation and declared support for efforts to contain the escalation and seek a broader agreement for the region. Pakistan, through Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, called for restraint and warned that a new wave of violence could have unbearable consequences. Even governments that seek dialogue understood that Iran was playing with a powder keg. Containment has become a priority because each missile launched increases the risk of mistakes, retaliation, and a new round of attacks. The market also felt the shock of the Iranian threat. Gasoline in the United States also became part of the political pressure, with a national average of $4.16 per gallon on Monday. This shows why the crisis has become a global threat. The attack is not limited to military radars. It affects your wallet, transportation, and the attack is not limited. The Iranian regime tried to appear strong, but ended up gathering a wall of reaction against itself. The Trump regime demanded an immediate ceasefire without easing the blockade. Netanyahu held his fire without giving up the right to respond. Later denounced the 11 ballistic missiles Kaja Kallas turned the threat into European sanctions. Kallas, Starmer, and Cooper warned about the global impact. Al-Albares, Anand, Qatar, and Pakistan warned and rushed to contain the explosion before the Iranian regime dragged the region into a bigger crisis. Now the next move is in Tehran's hands. If the regime accepts restraint, Trump tries to push for final negotiations and keep up the pressure until a real agreement is reached. If the regime insists on new attacks, Israel has already warned that it will respond with force, and the European Union has shown that it can increase sanctions. Iran was not able to come out of this episode as a victim. It came out as the source of the threat, the focus of pressure, and the regime that put world leaders on alert after attacking Israel. The crisis remains unresolved because the ceasefire depends on behavior, not on rhetoric. I'm Milson Alves, Global, an international affairs specialist, and my purpose is to keep you well informed with the truth every day. The news links are in the video description. Leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and at the end, check out the comments so you can stay even more updated, like this channel. Para você ficar ainda mais bem engajado com a comunidade Milson Alves.